Have you ever imagined, in this year of 2026, when every man only sends a heart emoji and a chat that disappears in 24 hours, there is one man in the world who still sits on the floor of his room, with dim lights, writing your name with black ink on vintage brown paper that smells like an old library? And that man is Bruno Mars. Yes, the man whose songs are played at every wedding in the world, the man who makes millions of women cry because of his lyrics, turns out to have never once sent his love through a phone screen. Jessica Caban herself revealed it in an interview that was almost forgotten back in 2018. She said with sparkling eyes, "Bruno still writes love letters by hand. Not one paragraph. 2 full pages. And its contents are lyrics to a song that has never been released by anyone in this world, lyrics written for only one woman. And today, I will show you why the honest confession from female fans in America who said this is extinct man behavior, the behavior of a man who is already extinct, actually makes us all have to question again what true love really means in this digital era." Welcome back to this channel. If you are new here, you are in the right place to get to know Bruno Mars not just as a superstar, but as a human being with the gentlest heart ever existed in the music industry. In this video, I promise you will find 3 big secrets that have never been covered by any infotainment media. First, I will take you inside Bruno Mars' secret ritual every time he writes that letter, where he gets that vintage brown paper, and why he insists on using only black ink. Second, we will uncover the contents of that letter, how an unreleased lyric can be the most deadly weapon to make a woman feel like she is the only one in the world. And third, the most shocking one, why Bruno Mars strongly refuses to send flowers through an online application. He chooses to deliver them himself by hand, even if he has to drive for 2 hours in the middle of the night after an exhausting concert. So make sure you watch until the very last second of this video, because at the end of the video, I will give you a clue about one letter whose contents are suspected to be the song Versace on the floor, and you will not believe what actually happened behind that letter. Stay tuned. Let us start from a bitter reality that we must swallow together as modern women. We live in an era where love is measured by how fast he replies to your chat. We wait for the 2 check marks to turn blue. We interpret a flower emoji as a form of attention. We are used to instant love, cheap love, love that can be copy-pasted to 10 other women at the same time. And in the middle of that emotional barrenness, this story about Bruno Mars appears like an oasis in the desert. This story does not come from his public relations team, not from his record label, but from the mouth of a woman who has seen him for many years from the closest distance, Jessica Caban. In 2018, in a casual interview that was almost unnoticed by major media, Jessica was asked a very simple question: what is the most romantic thing Bruno has ever done for you? Most people would expect an answer like he bought me a car, or he wrote me a song on stage. But Jessica's answer made the interviewer silent for a few seconds. She smiled, she looked down as if remembering something very personal, and she said, "He still writes letters. Love letters written by hand. On vintage brown paper. With black ink." That sentence sounds so simple, but try to absorb its meaning more deeply. In a world where Bruno Mars can buy anything, he can hire the best poet in the world, he can order gold calligraphy, he chooses to do the most difficult thing, which is to sit down, be silent, and write with his own hands. You have to understand, writing by hand is not just writing. When someone types on a phone, he can delete it in 1 second if it is wrong. He can edit it to look perfect. But when that black ink has touched the vintage brown paper, there is no way back. Every stroke is a commitment. Every possible spelling mistake, every drop of ink that spreads slightly because the paper is porous, that is proof that it is a human who wrote it, not a machine. And that is what makes that vintage brown paper so important. According to our team's research, this type of paper is not paper you can buy at a regular stationery store. This is cotton paper, paper with a rough texture, light brown in color like leather, which was commonly used in the 1940s to write letters for soldiers who were going to war. This paper does not reflect light, it absorbs light. When you write on it, the ink does not stay on top of the paper, the ink goes into its fibers, it merges with it, exactly like how Bruno's love seeps into the heart of its recipient. A vintage paper expert in Los Angeles once said that choosing paper like that requires extraordinary patience, because the ink dries very slowly, you have to wait, you cannot rush. And is that not the definition of true love, the willingness to wait? Then we enter his ritual. Imagine this. Bruno Mars has just finished performing in front of 80,000 people. His voice is almost gone. His body is wet with sweat. Everyone wants a photo. Everyone wants an autograph. But after all the stage lights are turned off, after everyone has gone home, he returns to his hotel, or to his small studio. He does not go straight to sleep. He takes an old wooden box from inside his closet. Inside that box lies a stack of that brown paper, neatly cut, and a small bottle of black ink and a quill pen. Some close sources say he never writes that letter on a luxurious table. He often writes it on the floor, with his back leaning against the sofa, with soft jazz music playing from a vinyl record. He writes very slowly. One letter can take 2 to 3 hours. 2 full pages. And here is the part that will make your heart beat faster. Those 2 pages are not ordinary confessions like "I missed you today." No. Those 2 pages are lyrics. Lyrics to a song that has never been heard by anyone. Lyrics that have not been recorded, not been produced, not been sold. He writes a song that exists only for one person in the world. Imagine how valuable that is. In an industry where one lyric of a Bruno Mars song can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, he gives it for free, completely free, only on a sheet of brown paper that might be folded and stored inside a diary. A female fan from Texas once wrote in a fan forum. She said, "I once received a handwritten letter from my ex, but it was only 3 lines. When I heard Bruno writes 2 pages of unreleased lyrics, I cried. Because it means he is giving a part of his soul, a part of his career, the most valuable part of himself as an artist, just to make one woman feel loved." And that comment was then replied to by thousands of other women with the same sentence. This is extinct man behavior. The behavior of a man who is already extinct. They said a man like this no longer exists on earth. A man who understands that love is not about the price of the gift, but about the time he sacrifices for you. And that brings us to the second secret that is even more shocking than his letter. That is about the flowers. In this modern era, if a man wants to send flowers, what does he do? He opens his phone, opens an app, chooses the most expensive bouquet, adds a greeting card with text that is already provided by the app, pays with a credit card, and that's it. The flowers will be delivered by a courier you do not know. You do not even know if that man actually chose the flowers himself. Jessica Caban in that same interview also touched on this, with a small laugh full of meaning. She said, he never, not even once sent flowers through online. He delivers them himself. That sentence sounds old-fashioned, sounds inefficient, but try to think about its psychological side. When Bruno Mars delivers flowers himself, what is he actually delivering? He is not just delivering flowers. He is delivering his presence. He is delivering the time he stole from his super busy schedule. Imagine a world superstar whose schedule is arranged per minute by a manager, having to drive himself to a small flower shop on the corner of the city, maybe with a hat and a mask so as not to be recognized, choosing one by one the stalks of roses or lilies, making sure they are still fresh, carrying them himself into his car, and then driving maybe 1 or 2 hours just to knock on the door and hand them over directly with his own hands. There is a story circulating among senior fans in California, which until today has never been officially confirmed but is believed to be true by many people. The story says that one night after his concert in Las Vegas that ended at 1 in the morning, Bruno disappeared from the entourage. His security team panicked. They looked for him everywhere. It turned out he was driving alone towards Los Angeles just to deliver a bouquet of white peonies that only bloom in spring, because he knew it was someone's favorite flower. He arrived at 4 in the morning, placed the flowers in front of the door with a vintage brown letter on top of it, knocked softly, then left before the door was opened. He did not wait for a thank you. He did not wait to be photographed. He did it because for him, love is about giving without expecting to be seen. And that is why adult and senior women who watch this channel can really feel this vibration, because true love in the old days was indeed like that. Love that is not noisy. Love that does not need to be shown off on an Instagram story. Love that is only known by two hearts. So when we hear female fans in America say this is extinct man behavior, they are not exaggerating. They are grieving. They are grieving because they realize that out there, in the midst of the glitter of the celebrity world full of cheating scandals and relationships that only last a few months for publicity, there is still one man who upholds the ancient teachings about how to love a woman properly. Bruno Mars, with all his fame, with all his money, with all his worldwide hit songs, chooses to be the simplest man when it comes to matters of the heart. He does not use technology to make his love easier. He uses his own hands. He does not use the services of other people to convey his feelings. He uses his own feet to walk to that door. And now, I want you to stop for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you received something written by hand for you? When was the last time someone took 2 hours out of his busy life just to write your name in ink? Maybe it has been a very long time, or maybe never at all. And that is why this story is so touching, so sensational, so making us all feel jealous and warm at the same time. Because deep down in the heart of every woman, no matter how independent and strong she is, there is a desire to be loved in that extinct way. To be loved like an unreleased song, exclusive, rare, and only yours. At the end of this video, I want to leave you with a big question that we will answer completely in next video. If one 2-page love letter contains unreleased lyrics, where do those lyrics go? Is it possible that some of Bruno Mars' biggest songs that we know today, like When I Was Your Man or Versace on the Floor, were actually originally love letters on that vintage brown paper that he then decided to share with the world? And is there one letter that never became a song that is still kept tightly to this day, whose contents are too personal to be sung in public? We will uncover it all in next video. But before we part, I want to hear your voice. In your opinion, in this year of 2026, is it still possible to find a man with extinct man behavior like Bruno Mars in real life, or is he really the last one? And if you were Jessica Caban at that time, receiving a 2-page letter with lyrics that the world has never heard, what would you feel? Write your honest feelings in the comment column below. I will read your comments one by one, because the YouTube algorithm will make this rare love story heard by more women out there who may need hope about sincere love. Do not forget to like and subscribe, because in next video, I will show you deeper evidence that will make you really cry.